Yo 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 what's up? What's going on? How we doing? How we feeling tonight, man? Coming in a little late with the post game show, but we in this thing. We in this thing. 4-2 Falcons, man. Nice win over Carolina. Yesterday, what's today? Monday? Yeah, yesterday. So we got the nice dub over Carolina. We are still officially in Victory Monday, as David Starks just said. What's going on, David? What's happening in the chat? Y'all do your dog a favor also as you come in. Make sure you do smash that like button for your dog, man. For your dog. Yeah, let's get to it, man. Let's talk about the game, man. I know at this point, again, I'm a little late with the post game show, so I know at this point it's not a lot for me to say that you hadn't already heard elsewhere, but I'm interested to hear what everybody thought. I'm interested to hear, what did you like? What did you dislike about the game? So we're gonna still, go over the game a little bit. Also, something I want to ask y'all tonight: are the Falcons? When you see the Falcons, are they a playoff team? When you look at them right now, do you see a playoff team in the Falcons when you do see the Falcons right now? And what I mean by that, I know it's still a long way to go. We've only played 6 games, so therefore we have 11 more to go. So I know a lot can happen between now and the end of the year. But from your vantage point, what you've seen these first 6 games, when you look at the Falcons, do you see a playoff team? More specifically, what I mean, there are certain teams that you look at and you say, okay, that's a playoff team. Baltimore, I think they lost their first 2 games, but when you watch them play, you can, okay, that's a playoff team. When you watch Baltimore, that's a playoff team. Pat Mahomes, Kansas City. When you watch Kansas City's Travis Kelce, Andy Reid, you watch them, okay, that's a playoff team. It's a playoff team. Even though they are struggling a little bit this year, I think most people will look at the San Francisco 49ers and say, yeah, that's a playoff team. So I want y'all to tell me, when you look at your Atlanta Falcons right now, can you confidently say we are a playoff team? So I want to talk about that also. Like I said, I know we early in this and whatever, and I know somebody thinking, well, man, Title, why are you talking about the playoffs, bro? The summer just ended. Fall just started. Give us some time. But you know what? Hey, we fans. We can look ahead. We can look ahead. I know sometimes when I be looking ahead, people tell me, hey man, one game at a time, man. We need to focus on Seattle, bro. One game at a time. Well, let's focus on Seattle. I always respond to people like, bro, I'm just a fan. I don't need to get mentally prepared to play Seattle. I don't need to get mentally prepared to play Denver. I don't need to get mentally prepared for New Orleans when we go to New Orleans in November. There's no mental preparation period for me. Hell, I be thinking about 1, 2, 3 years down the road as a fan. So when you look at your Falcons, do you see a playoff team? When you look at your Falcons, and be honest with me, if you look at us and you say, yeah, I'm not sure, bro. I've been a fan of this team a long time, and I've seen plenty of years that we started off good, and then the Falcons do what the Falcons do. Or if you're undecided, say, hey, man, I'm undecided, bro. Ask me again in 3 weeks. Ask me again in 3 weeks. Or if you look at your team, you say, yeah, Toddy, we a playoff team finally. We finally have arrived back. We are a playoff team. So let me know that also. And also, we're going to talk about the game too. What did we like in the game? Did we like the fact that we got our running game back going? Look like the old Arthur Smith days when Arthur Smith had us running the ball like crazy. Look like the old Devontae Freeman, Tevin Coleman days. Look like the old Michael Turner, Ovie Mahaley days. We got the running game back going. That's something that I like. So I'll go ahead and share that with y'all right now. I like the fact that we got back to running the football proficiently. I love that. I love when we can run the ball like that. So I did like that. what I what I what I didn't necessarily like off top, the first half, the defense in the first half, they can't front, can't lie. Didn't like the fact that once again we let the opposing team's quarterback sit back there and make breakfast and eggs and French toast and butter beans and get his Thanksgiving dinner ready. You know, pressuring the quarterback. You know, we still having problems with that, man. And did we get a sack yesterday? I don't recall getting a sack. Did it? Can somebody in the chat tell me? Did we get a sack yesterday? I don't think we did. Did we get a sack yesterday? So that's one thing that's concerning of me, y'all. And I'm not trying to rain on our parade, with us winning last night. But hey, y'all know how we do. We gonna keep it real, man. You know what I'm saying? So that's one thing that does concern me. It's the lack of pass rush, our inability to get the opposing quarterback on the ground. So that's something that we I don't know what the answer is. we have this every single year, but we can't sack the quarterback. We can't get any pressure on the quarterback. So I don't know what the answer is. Thank you, Wallace. Wallace says no sacks, Toddy. I don't know how we gonna fix that, y'all. David said, "What's up, David? No sacks, but a few tackles for loss." How do we fix that? Let's go ahead and get into this. Cut the music. Let's get this thing going. Let's go in the chat real quick. See what everybody's saying. Daniel Berry highlights in the building says, "Hey everyone, happy Monday. Happy Monday to you also, Daniel. Appreciate you coming through as usual, my friend. Hope all is going well with you and yours." Coach is in the building. What's happening with your coach? Coach says, "Hey man, I've been looking forward to rapping with the fam about time. Just playing. I know about like, yeah, man. You know me. I had every intention to come on yesterday, but as you said, life happened. I planned on doing a Waffle House this past Friday that passed, but I had my goddaughter here, man, and she's what, just under 2 years old. She's like 20 months, and oftentimes she'll come and she'll spend the weekend with us. So she came by this weekend, so that knocked the Waffle House out. Because when she come by, man, like she had my undivided attention. She got a little play kitchen set and a tea set, so she be fixing me dinner and I have to play tea with her, which I do. I thoroughly enjoy, so I wasn't able to do the Waffle House this past Friday. Then it was not able to come on post game, but hey, man, we here now. We here now, back in the late night, where I enjoy being, I'm by nature, I'm a night owl, for those of you who probably have watched the channel for somewhat a significant amount of time, you probably have wondered to yourself, like, bro, why do you always do these shows late at night? Dog, we got to get up and go to work tomorrow. We got to get this kids up for school in the morning, bro. Why you always come on late? I'm historically, traditionally a night owl. I'm a night person. I've been a night owl all my life. When I was going to school, man, I still would be up 3-4 o'clock in the morning. So I don't know. I think I'm one of them people that can function better late at night, and I just like come on here and rapping at nighttime because I already be up. Even when I got to get up early in the morning, sometimes I still be up super late, which is not a good thing. I'm getting older now. I'm not 25. I'm not at that point where I go to the club and don't get home to 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning and still get up and go to work at 7-8 o'clock in the morning. But I'm a night person, so that's why I come on late a good bit of time. David starts, what's happening, David? What's up, Tyler? Victory Monday indeed, my friend. It's definitely a good feeling. Our dog Brian Peoples in the house. What's going on, Brian? How we doing, bro? How you feeling? What's happening? What's popping? And y'all make sure to put them area codes in the chat. Also, y'all know I love to know where everybody represent from. Where you're from, where you at, where you're trying to be. It don't matter. David Starr says, good to see we can win with in different ways offensively. Threw 500 plus yards last week, then rushed for 20 plus this week. Yes, sir, I do agree with that. I definitely agree with that, man. Definitely agree with that. And that is a good thing. Like you say, David, showing some versatility on different ways to win, different ways to put points on the board. And like you said, David, 500 plus yards last game passing. This game, 200 plus yards running the ball. And for consecutive weeks, we putting up 30 plus points per game. You know, the offense is starting to click. The offense is starting to gel. Got a lot of new pieces on this offense. So, you know, it's getting to that point where it's starting to click and starting to gel. I remember after the first game when we played Pittsburgh, I remember they talked to Matt Ryan. And I think we talked about it I think we showed the video on the Waffle House, if I remember correctly. But he was like, you know, like I'm paraphrasing here, but it's like, hey, Matt, what do you think about the Falcons' struggles on offense? Kirk Cousins, blah, 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 blah. Matt said, hey, again, I'm paraphrasing. He was like, it's no big deal. You know, it'll take the offense a little bit amount of time to start to gel, get familiar with each other, and you know, and they'll start clicking. And we're now seeing the offense start to click, and that's a good thing. Defense need them to be a little more consistent, but you know, we won't be too picky on that. Wallace says, "What's good with you, Todd? Hey, you doing? I'm doing good, Wallace. How you doing, brother?" Ray Ellison in the building. What's going on, Ray? How you feeling, man? What's popping? Appreciate you coming through. My dog Point Game official in the his house. What's going on, brother? How we feeling? So he says we definitely look like a playoff team. Okay. So he's saying we look like a playoff team. He said we look like a playoff team. I'm gonna go ahead and tell y'all how I feel. When I look at the team, I feel like I'm seeing a playoff team when I watch this team. So I think we're a playoff team as well. Lisa Shepard in the building. How you doing today, Lisa? Tonight? How you doing tonight, Lisa? Appreciate you coming through as usual. Hope everything is going well for you. Coach's Corner says we're a playoff team, but if the coaches don't get it together, we a 28-3 team again. Oh Lord, Coach, don't do that to me, Coach. Don't do that. Don't bring up those notorious three numbers on me, Coach. Don't do that to me. I hope not. Mike Geiger says, hey, what's up, Toddy? How about them Falcons? How about them Falcons, bro? How about them Falcons, baby? 4-2, undefeated in the NFC. We sitting pretty. You know. We're gonna handle our business against Seattle, go up 5-2, and then we're in the driver's seat from that point going forward, bro, for sure. Let's see who else we got here. We got my bad, y'all. I think I clicked off. My fault. MVM 1978 says, I see a playoff team. So MVM says, hey, I see a playoff team when I look at us. He says we see a playoff team. So far, two people say they see in a playoff team when they look at the Falcons. Lisa says, I said we have the potential to be. I still need the run defense and pass rush to get better. I do agree. I definitely do agree. I definitely do agree on that, Lisa. Pass rush, run defense. It was so frustrating to watch Carolina that first half run the ball on us, run the ball right up the middle. We look very soft in the middle on run defense and also pass defense, like right up the middle. We did make some adjustments in the second half, and we were able to quelch that, but we got to be more consistent in those areas on defense. David Starks says we look like a playoff team. Kirk bringing us through tight spots, winning in different ways in the guts of the team. Defensively is where we'll get bit in the playoffs because of the pass rush. Yeah. So we all seem to be concerned about the pass rush, y'all. All seem to be concerned about the pass rush. With good reasons. With very good reasons. MVM 1978 says passing scores, but running will win. Yeah, I agree. Hey man, it's hard to slow down the offense when they can run the ball like they want to run it, man. I totally agree. Totally agree. Point game efficiency, I say playoff team because this team does the little things, plays all the way through and finds ways to win. Defense is being but don't break. And we have shown that in our first two victories that we got, not quitting, you know, against all odds, not giving up, continuing to fight. And that's one of the traits and characteristics of a good team, finding ways to win. Because we have seen going back years and decades, you know, when we played good teams and it looked like we was gonna win the game, and they found ways to beat us. And now it seems like we're on the other side of that coin, which is a good thing, you know, which is a good thing. And as we saw Even though we did play, the Panthers, they still an NFL team. But we won big. What did we win by? I think 18 points. So you take that every single Sunday in the NFL. The vast majority of games in the NFL are not going to be decided by 18 points. So you beat a team in the NFL by 18 points, you take that. And we definitely taking that victory. We got our dog Carlo Wiggins in the building. Squad coming harder every Sunday. Yes, indeed. They're starting to jail, man. Chemistry starting to get there. And, it's great to see. It's definitely great to see. Davis's Carter, Mr. Clear One. Is that the play with where he missed on Andy Dalton? Is that the play you're talking about? That's the play you're talking about. I don't know how to explain what happened on that one, bro. that was funny and puzzling to see. Global Falcon Podcast. Shout out to you, Global Falcon Podcast. Appreciate you coming through. Let's cover 3 shell. I'm tired of saying it. Let's get back to multiple. So do you think that'll be a fix for the defense? Because I'm hearing a lot of suggestions on ways to improve the defense, get better defensively. I hear people say that we should maybe try to go to a 4-3 defense. Maybe that would bode well for us at a 4-3. Personally, I will say I need our defensive line to play better. And I've been saying linebacker play all year long, and I still need the linebackers to get better. The defensive backfield is where I'm most confident at with this team. I think they do a very good job, but that front seven need them to be better. John Kemp in this thing says, no, lack of defense was cause us to not make the playoffs. Ooh, so he banging on the Falcons. I like it though, John. I'm glad you said that, bro, because we need different opinions and different perspectives. He's saying the lack of defense will cause us not to make the playoffs. And I will say this, John, if we don't improve in our weak areas, because we got some real weak areas on this defense. Y'all watch these games just like I do. We celebrate the wins, but defensively, there's some very weak areas on this team. And John makes a great point. Lack of defense, man. Like, hey, you're not gonna be able to win games like that against the better teams in the league, especially down the stretch. You're not gonna play a 1-4 journeyman quarterback team, every Sunday. So very, very, very valid point. C Dub in the building. What's happening, C Dub? 770 in the house. 770. Let's blow the horn for that. Shout out to the 770. Says, and I'm so happy with us being in charge of the division. We didn't get a sack, and we need to fix the pass rush. I do agree. How do we fix the pass rush? How can we fix this pass rush? Put your suggestions and ideas in the chat. How can the Falcons fix the pass rush? Because we really thought these last 2 years that we were building up to fix the pass rush. You bring in David Onyemata in free agency. You expect him to get a lot of pressure playing beside Grady Jarrett. Grady Jarrett now has came back from his injury. And I really felt a critical key component that we did to fix the pass rush in this past offseason was trading for Matthew Judon. I thought we was going to get better play out of him. I thought we was going to get better play from our pass rush, but that has not been the case. And I just don't know what to say. I will be honest with y'all. I've been very disappointed in the play of Judon so far this year. I said it on Facebook. Through the first 6 games, I would not re-sign him based on his first 6 games. He got a lot more football to play, to change, I guess, my own personal opinion on that. But first 6 games, I'm not seeing it, y'all. I'm not seeing it. Excuse me. But yeah, first 6 games, I'm not seeing it. And it looked like on paper, like we was going to be able to rush the passer. And I'm just not understanding it. It seems like when I watch our pass rush, like the opposing team's offensive line is just some impenetrable brick wall that we can't penetrate past, and I don't get it. You see teams every week getting 3, 4, 5 sacks a game. We can't even get one, and it's disappointing. Yeah, y'all just say no sacks, no sacks. It's definitely disappointing. MVM 1978 says, but we need to do a trade, but we need to trade picks or trade players to get the pass rush to add to what we have to make it explosive. I'm really glad you said that. I'm glad you said that because it gives me the opportunity to speak on it. Trading to get better in the pass rush. This is my stance on this. I don't really know if this is gonna sound weird and wild, and y'all are free to disagree with me and give me a different views or opposing views. Specifically, specifically you, MVM 1978, because I read your comment. But as much as I would love for us to trade to get better rushing the passer, to trade for somebody else who can come in and possibly rush the passer with Judon on the other side. I don't know if that's necessarily a smart thing to do. I'll tell you why. One, and I know a 5th round pick ain't a big deal, but we're already gonna lose a 5th round pick next draft. And again, I know that's not a huge idea, a huge thing with a 5th rounder. It's not like that's a 2nd rounder or 3rd rounder, but it's still a 5th rounder that we won't have an opportunity to use in next year's draft. So it may be a slim chance, but we could miss out on drafting the next Grady Jarrett next year. We could miss out on drafting the next Tyler Algier next year. So we're already losing that pick. We traded a 3rd rounder for Matthew Judon, if I'm correct. Y'all fact check me on that, but I think we traded a 3rd rounder for Judon. So now you're going into the 2025 draft. You don't have a 3rd rounder. You don't have a 5th rounder. So you're already short 2 draft picks. Then if you were to trade to get someone else this year, you gotta spend a lot of draft capital. Now you get to the point where you gotta I'm looking at the end of this Buffalo game, but now you get to the point where you talking about 2nd rounders and 4th rounders. If we expect to get somebody worth anything, you're definitely talking about 2nd rounders. Depending on who you go get, I heard a lot of people mention Hassan Reddick. 2nd rounders. That probably would be multiple picks. 2nd rounder and a 4th rounder, something of that nature. So now we're already down 2 draft picks in the 2025 draft. We will lose even more. We get to the point we only got like a handful of draft picks next year. And I just don't know if that's, in my opinion, I don't know if that's wise, because granted, you want to get the team as best, you want to get the best team that you possibly can during this year in 2024, but you can't totally mortgage the future either, because you already got Michael Penix sitting there on the bench, and you still got to put players in position for when you transition the team from Kirk Cousins to Michael Penix. We don't want to be at a point where we don't have any draft picks, for the future. Again, Michael Penix specifically. So I don't know if that's the best idea, even though I would love to do it. We may be at a situation where we just gonna have to run with what we got. Excuse me, and hopefully we can get better. David McCoy says free agent signing. Who's still out there in free agency? Because I haven't looked. Anybody out there, worth a quarter in free agency right now at this point, David? We got our dog David, our dog James in the building. What's going on, bro? How you doing? James is tight in the bird game. What it do, bro? How we feeling tonight, man? Y'all had a scare on Saturday, man. I was watching that game, boy. Y'all Y'all had a scare. Miss B in the building. What's going on, Miss B? How you doing tonight? Appreciate you coming through, showing love. Y'all make sure to check out Miss B also on YouTube. If you're not already subscribed to her channel, go ahead and subscribe to her channel. She drops some fantastic Falcons content. Shout out to you for coming through, Miss B. C Dub says, goddaughter time off. Yeah, man, awesome times, man. Awesome times. She keeps me busy, man. She getting at the point where she's starting to like learn words and trying to put sentences together. We sit up here and we watch Akili all day and all night, and Grace's Corner. I done got to the point where I know the characters on the cartoon and everything, man. So I have a ball. I really have a ball. We were gonna take her to the fair, but decided not to. It's a lot of traffic like down here right now because a lot of people were leaving or going back to Florida because of the hurricane. So interstate kind of backed up, so we didn't do it. Coach, as I would say it till I'm blue in the face, no single player, no single trade, nothing will improve the pass rush defense until we get out of the 3-4 period. And that's someone else that's saying that we need to get out of the 3-4 and maybe go to a 4-3. Hell, maybe even play more nickel. I don't know, But I've heard that, Coach, from a significant amount of people saying that maybe we should get out of the 3-4. Maybe we don't have the right personnel for it. Personally, I don't know what to do at this point. To be honest with you, I don't even have no answers. I honestly thought we had solved it going into the season once we traded for Judon, but to me, he's been a disappointment so far. We got our dog Brian Cornelius in the building. 404 in this thing. Shout out to the whole 404 in this thing. Coming through repping as usual. 404 coming through. What's happening, Brian? Hope everything going well. Wallace says Carter had his hands on Dalton, but he let him get out of there. I do remember that play also. Do remember that. And we've seen that a lot this year. Getting close with no cigar. You know what I mean? And I just don't. I don't know what it is, man. I just don't know. I just don't know. I guess Andy Dalton was doing his best Mike Vick impersonation on that play. I don't know. I really don't know. We got our brother Armani in this thing. What's happening with you, bro? Says, what's up, big dog? Them kids been in the bed this my time. What my bell at? Man, I ain't got my bell. There go the bell. Let's ring the bell for that. Armani said, this is Pops time. Kids in the bed. See, Dove says, Night Owl to yeah, bro. Team Night Owl. MVM says, I'm not turning myself. Team Night Owl. Shout out to the Night Owls in the building, man. What's popping? Point game official. We play too much zone of a soft zone or a soft zone, looking to avoid big plays, in my honest opinion. And that takes away from sack numbers. Also, Ebikade sometimes misses tackles on sacks. He almost had one yesterday. I remember that play. Ebikade almost got one. Arnold Ebikade, that's another name, man. We kind of thought that this might be a career-defining year for him, but thus far that has not been the case. Again, there's still a lot of football left to play, so things could change as the season continues to progress. My personal opinion of Ebikade, I think he's always had like the tools, but to me, he seems like he's a little small. He seems a little undersized, and am I misinterpreting that? I know everybody can't be Micah Parsons and be like a smaller pass rusher and still, produce at a high rate. But Ebikade, like he might need to eat a little more cornbread and some fried chicken and black eyed peas. We might need to get him in some of them soul food joints in Atlanta, man. Put some weight on him. Shout out to the 404 in this thing. David repping that 404. Shout out Big Strong 404 Energy in the building. Juice 31 says, yes, we are a playoff team. I think so too, Juice. I think we are so too, but we gotta have to fix that defense. Wallace Smith says, Toddy, I'm in the house. Shout out to the 912 in this building. 912 in this thing, the original area code of Georgia. I remember we was 912 for the longest time here in Middle Georgia. JD us in this building. What's up, Jay? Good teams can win multiple ways and can attack defenses based on the looks. We have shown that these last 2 weeks, man. We really have. Somebody said it earlier. We threw for 500 plus this last week. Then we come out and we rushing for 200 plus this week, and that correlates to what you're saying, Jay. And I think we're a good team. I do. I think we're a good team. How we will eventually do when we get in the playoffs, that remains to be seen. But I'm feeling good and confident about this year's Falcon team, bro. While it's the title, let's ring the bell for the offensive line. Yeah, let's ring the bell for the offensive line. Shout out to the offensive line, man. They played a hell of a game. They played a hell of a game. They kept Kirk clean for essentially most of the game. We just talked about how great and efficiently we ran the ball. And I remember, Wallace, when I looked at the PFF scores, man, most of the highest graded players on the offense were all the offensive linemen. I think Chris Lindstrom was like an 89. Bergeron, excuse me, I think he was like around an 85. Big Caleb McGarry was like an 80. So, man, the offensive line played their asses off. And then I see that Raheem Morris gave them the team ball too, which was well deserved. So the offensive line looked like they could be coming together. And y'all know that's been the backbone of this team the last couple of years, that offensive line. So it's good to see them getting their continuity and their chemistry going back too, because, we had some, well, we still are kind of injured on the line, but, we got Caleb McGarry back. And since he's been back, he's been playing pretty good football. C-Dub says, I feel like we're a playoff team, but we have to fix the defense. I agree. We should look at a trade or free agent. If not, then adapt your scheme and get guys in position to win on defense. Yeah, I totally agree. Possibly changing the scheme and get guys in position to win on defense. C-Dub, do we need to blitz more? Or do we need to do a better job of hiding the blitz? Dare I say we start doing more cornerback blitzes? I know a lot of teams don't really like to do cornerback blitzes because these quarterbacks in the NFL are so damn good that they can hurt you. You sending that cornerback at them. But man, I don't know. I'm totally clueless on how to fix that pass rush. I wish I knew the answers. King Atlanta support in the building. What's going on, King? How we doing, bro? Says, what's up, Tyler? Can't wait to see this team win their first Super Bowl. Let's ring the bell for that. I totally agree. It's been a long wait for us, bro. So I'm looking forward to that myself. And hopefully King Atlanta to be this year, man. Global Falcon podcast said that 3-4 not working for this team. Go back to the 4-3. So that's somebody else that's saying, hey, man, go back to the 4-3 defense. 3-4 is not working for this team. Let's transition back to the 4-3. And I'm going to ask y'all, because I'm sure quite a bit of y'all probably know better than I do. How easy or how hard is it for a team to go from a 3-4 to a 4-3 or even vice versa in the middle of an NFL season? Like, is that something that would be difficult for this team to do? Because they've been practicing from training camp to OTAs, this certain format. So would that be a difficult move for the coaches and also the team to go from a 3-4 to 4-3? So y'all let me know in the comments. I'm interested to know myself. Global Falcons podcast also says it's not the defense, it's the scheme. The team made to hunt, not sit in the zone. And it sounds like you agree with Coach, because Coach has been saying that pretty much since the start of the season. He has been saying that. So it sounds to me like you and Coach are on the same page. Point game official, I feel like we'd have an all-pro linebacker if we could blend the strengths of Lamb and Anderson together. Hey, I couldn't agree with you more on that, bro. Hey, man, if you can give Nate Lammon's, Troy Anderson's raw tools in terms of speed, size. Well, Nate ain't that small, but I still say speed, size, agility. Or if you could give Troy Nate's nuances of knowing how to play the linebacker position, the instincts to play the linebacker position, how to move and how to find the ball, man, you'd have like you say, point game, we'd have an all-pro linebacker. Wallace says, Todd, I also see us as a playoff team with the way we found ways to win a game by any means necessary by all three phases of offense, defense, and special teams. Great comment. Great comment. Because you are right. There were some games where the defense turned up for us, and lately the offense has turned up for us. And like I said earlier, man, I'm excited to see this offense starting to reach their potential. I'm real excited to see this offense start to reach their potential. Dave says, must draft better. I agree. Abicada has been a disappointment, and so has Malone. Where is Malone at? Is Malone still on the team, or is he on the practice squad? Is he still a member of the 53-man roster? I hadn't seen or heard that name in a long time. What about Big Zach? I think Zach blocked. Wasn't that Zach Harrison who blocked the punt yesterday? Zach was starting to flash at the end of last year, so I was hoping that he would start to come into his own a little bit. A lot of questions. Coach said, I tell you, if I was the defense coordinator, I would go to a 4-2-5. That's more of an old school defensive set. And with that speed we have in every aspect of the defense, I would send multiple people per down. We definitely have the size and the speed. We don't lack the speed. Caden Ellis for a linebacker, he has fairly decent speed. Troy Anderson, you ain't got to talk about his speed. He run as fast as a running back or wide receiver or a cornerback. He has plenty of speed. So yeah, I see exactly what you're saying. Global Falcon podcast says Judon ain't the problem. Carter is more of a problem than Judon, and they holding us all game with no penalty calls. I wish Global Falcon, I wish I was as favorable on Judon as you are, but I gotta be honest, bro. I just have not been impressed, man. I really haven't. And I watch Judon quite a bit, when I'm watching the games, and he don't seem explosive, man. And it seems like he's having a hard time sharing blocks and attacking the quarterback to me, from my vantage point. And I totally understand what you're saying when you say we get held a bit, but I'm gonna be honest to you, Global Falcon podcast. Every single fan base, every content creator of every team, we all feel the same way. There's not an NFL fan base or NFL team or NFL coaching staff that don't feel like their players are getting held. The thing about that, me personally, I don't like to use that because, again, I feel like everybody feels that way. You still got to make plays. There's just too many times that I'm watching the game and I just see that opposing quarterback on the opposing team just have all day to just sit back there and just pat the ball. And I was telling people this on Facebook, man. Like, I know some people probably think like I'm a big AJ Terrell fanboy. I like AJ's game, but it's not like he's like one of my favorite players or anything. But a good bit of the reason that I tend to defend AJ Terrell because I understand how playing defense it's essentially a big team dynamic. If the front four, the front seven, if they're not pressuring the quarterback really at all, in our case at all, your cornerbacks, they're going to be suspect. If you can have Deion Sanders, Darrelle Revis, Champ Bailey. Hey, man, if the quarterback got 6, 7, 8 seconds back there, they're going to get passes completed on them. So, when sometimes y'all see me on camera or if you see me in the Facebook and I seem like I'm defending AJ, that's why. Because he's playing on a team, and not just AJ, any of the cornerbacks, any of those cornerbacks, they're playing on a team that has 5 sacks in 6 games. I don't know what the NFL record is for least amount of sacks in the season, but man, we probably close to the pace right now. So that's why I tend to give our cornerbacks a pass. Now, if we were getting a lot of pressure, we putting a quarterback on the ground, and AJ Terrell out there, still getting burned, or whatever cornerback out there, then I'm gonna be on their ass. but I tend to give them a little pass because of that. Wallace says yes, defense is going to have to step up all of these 10 and 12 play drives, slow down teams running games, and also get off the field on third down. That has been very problematic for the defense so far this year. Got to get off the field on third down. C. Dub said I would sign White for linebacker depth, and I would look at beefing up the pass rush. I would exhaust all possibilities. I mean, this is the win now season. Yeah, I totally agree from the perspective of win now season. So, and that might be something we do. I did see we signed Rashawn Evans, put him on the practice squad, and then they released him like 4 or 5 days later. So I guess he wasn't exactly what the Falcons were looking for. C-Dub says, yep, we did trade third-round pick for Judon, and he is getting help, but so is Grady and everyone else. I don't want Reddick. He is questionable at best. And that goes back to what I was just saying about being held. I promise y'all, like, every fan base feels that way. There's not an NFL fan base that don't feel like their players are getting held. And really our players, they just have to fight through that and still get to the quarterback. You know, because I'm sorry, y'all. There's really no viable excuse for me when you got 5 sacks in 6 games. I feel like you have to look more at the players in that aspect. You know, you can look at coaching also, but at the end of the day, the players got to play. You know, they got to get the job done. And I remember Judon after last game saying, look, he said something to that effect, like, look, we got to do that's on us. That's our job. We got to do a better job on that. See, those says, remember our draft picks on the bench. That's true. That's true. Did Rook play yesterday? Rook? I know when he played that first game, he played about 12 snaps. He looked pretty good out there. What's going on, William? William says it's still earlier. What do you mean when you say that? I might have missed something. We got our dog Cool C is in the building. What's happening, Cool C? Repping that 770 is in the house. Shout out to the whole 770. What's popping? William says we need to bench Lorenzo Carter. I think a lot of people feel that way. Marina in the house. What's going on, Marina? I ain't seen you in a good minute. Says come through to show love. Tidy rise up to you as well. Appreciate you coming in. I ain't seen you in a minute. Hope everything going good, Marina. Wallace says, Tidy, you're right. We traded 3rd-round pick for Judah. That's what I thought, man. And that's why I'm kind of against trading anymore this year. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I know this is a win now season, but when you have taken a quarterback number 8 overall, you can't forget about him. You can't use up all your draft picks, and you be in a situation where you ain't got no draft picks to continue to build the team for him. You know, you just can't hand him the keys to the car, and you ain't been able to draft nobody. So that's why I'm a little hesitant, you know, when as far as trading, because at this point, if you trade for more pass rush help, man, you're gonna have to spend a lot of money in the store. You got to pull out that credit card with the biggest credit limit. You know, that credit card with a $500 limit or $1,000 limit or $2,500 limit. No, sir. You need 10 grand and up. You got to pull out that big boy credit card. That credit card that you don't even put in your wallet or your purse. The credit card that you leave at the house, and you only bring out for big dog purchases. That's the credit card you're gonna have to spend. And I don't want to spend that. You know, like I said, we're going into next year. We already lost a lot of draft picks. We already lost 2 draft picks. William says we need to get more depth on the defensive line. I thought we had pretty good depth on the line. To be totally honest with you, I thought that's why Raheem said that's one of the reasons that his rookies weren't playing, because you know he had a lot of veterans that were doing a good job. At least that's what I thought. C-Dub says doing nothing is totally unacceptable. When you get a roster, we have to look at the scheme. If we don't make any moves, and we could, when is our bye week? We could do a scheme change. You know, that might be something that they look at during the bye week, because that gives them an extra week to practice on it and you know, and to incorporate different things that they want to do out of different formations. William says, now we rank dead last 32. It's not Judon. I'd agree. I disagree. I think you're saying ranked 32 in sacks William Mouse's Carter doing the same shit from last year. Can't keep playing like that. I'm surprised he's still on the team, to be totally honest with you. William also says we need Brandon Dorless. Wallace says I think that this is the team we're going to ride with for the rest of the season, unless there's a season-ending injury to a key player. I think so too, Wallace. I think so too. I just don't see a situation like you say, unless injury, where they're gonna do any more trading. I really don't see it. Um, I think they're gonna spend all their money in the store, and they're gonna ride out what they're gonna ride out with. Coach says the problem with us unfortunately starts at the top. We keep hiring first timers and mediocre coaches in every spot until we hire a proven guy with proven help. Unfortunately, we won't win a chip. Well, there was the Bill Belichick thing. After we hired Arthur Smith, and the Falcons have already explained why they didn't go with Belichick and they went with Raheem Morris instead. And Raheem Morris brought in his staff, of course. Jimmy Lake, Zach Robinson. As far as the Raheem hires so far, I'm good with it. I'm good. I'm good with the Raheem Morris hire. He's not a first time head coach. He does, of course, have experience as a head coach, also defensive coordinator. But now the assistant coaches, to your point, those are first timers. So and we saw a little bit of that, especially in the first two games, specifically the Pittsburgh game, where they looked like they didn't know what they were doing on offense. I was really worried after the first week. I really was. I was really worried. Williams says both need to be benched by week 10 or week 9. Who you talking about? Miller Mills in the building. What's going on, Miller? How we doing? How you feeling, bro? Appreciate you coming in. Miller says we held back yesterday and still won by 18. Sounds like a playoff team to me, especially since Dallas looking trash. Yeah, same old Cowboys. But I do agree with you, Miller. I think we are a playoff team as well. So we on the same page as well as far as that go. Williams says, but Ryan Nielsen left us. That hurt. That was a big blow to the team. Of course, specifically the defense. But once Arthur Smith was fired, that was not a surprise, because that normally what happens. Head coach gets fired. Typically, most times than not, the entire staff leaves with him, and then a new head coach, he's gonna bring in his guys. So wasn't a surprise at all to me. And we also lost Calais Campbell. Gave us 6.5 sacks last year. A cagey, smart veteran, knows the ins and outs of rushing the passer. Bud Dupree, another veteran. So we did lose some key guys who put up some pretty respectable numbers for us on defense last year as well. So that could be coming back to bite us a little bit also. Wallace says, but it doesn't matter if we're in the 3-4 to 4-3, because you're going to get the same lineup, and they're playing more nickel defense now. And I think that's what's getting us gash on running plays. That's a good point. He's saying, look, you're gonna have the same players. Wallace saying it don't matter if you play the 3-4 to 4-3, you're gonna have the same players. So it could just be a personnel problem. I wish I knew the answer to it, man. That's why I'm asking y'all. Like, I don't know. We having the same Falcon problem, rushing the passer, and it don't even look like we get progressively better rushing the passer. It looks like we're getting progressively worse rushing the passer, and that's the disappointing thing about it. Again, happy about the win, but it's hard to overlook that point, that part of this team, the inability to rush the passer. That it's hard to overlook that, because we are saying, most of us are saying we are a playoff team. I'm here to tell you, when you get in the postseason, you're gonna have to rush the passer, because at that point you're playing the best of the best. You ain't gonna be playing Andy Dalton in a 1-4 rebuilding Carolina Panthers team. And this is the thing about the Panthers. I think they had a bunch of injuries on their offensive line. We still couldn't get to the quarterback. So that was personally, that was disappointing for me. When I found out, like I think they were missing they starting right tackle. I was like, oh yeah, we about to eat. We about to get us at least 3 sacks today. We about to eat. Didn't happen. Did not happen. David Starr says, ring the bell for Zach Robinson. Ring the bell for Zach Robinson. Shout out to Zach Robinson. He's gotten much better the past 2 weeks. I do agree with his play calling and setting up plays for later in the game. I definitely agree with that. Zach Robinson has got a lot better. And that's going back to what Matt Ryan said what happened. Once Zach Robinson becomes more familiar with his personnel, what each player can and can't do well, and the things that he wants to do. And this offense will start rolling now. So I totally agree. Loving what Zach Robinson has been able to do these last 2 weeks. Offense has just looked damn good, man. Look damn good. Like we said earlier in the show, Kirk Cousins went off last week. This week you had the Bijan and Tyler Algier show. Boy, they look good running that ball. They couldn't be, neither one of them could be stopped. You put Bijan in, he gonna gas you. You put Tyler in, he gonna run over you. They didn't have an answer for nothing about our running game. 200 plus yards running the ball, And when we have to pass, hey, we're doing a pretty good job passing the ball too. Kirk Cousins then put up huge passing numbers yesterday, but it wasn't needed. That the Florida game did not dictate that Kirk needed to throw the ball 35, 40, 45 times. When you got Tyler and Bijan doing what they were doing, hey, man, let's just keep running gravy train. And then another thing, that helps limit possible turnovers. You're more prone to step back and throw the ball 40, 45 times a game, and somebody get back there, sack the quarterback, and he fumbled the ball. Kirk Cousins throwing an interception. So I'm all with you on the Zach Robinson train. Loving what he has done these last 2 weeks. Coach said, no, it's not hard at all to switch mid-season. I've done it and seen other coaches do it when players go down, and with our current players, it would be a lot easier because it would be natural to them. All right, and appreciate you letting me know that, because I don't know how that would play out. Like if that's a hard transition, for them to switch from a 3-4 to a 4-3, or a easy transition, as you just indicated, that it wouldn't be hard at all. So with that said, that might be something they do, because trust me, if we talking about it, they talking about it. They're not gonna come out in the media and say, "Hey, we struggling to rush the passer." But they talking about it. When they have their defensive meetings, they're talking about that. They're trying to find a way to get to the quarterback, like we're talking about. Miller Mill says, effort. Just put Troy's Kyle wrestling on the edge and give him 2 assignments, rush the pass and cover the flat or stop the run, which even better. Hey, that might be something you can do with all that speed, man. Hey, it's worth a try. We got Nate Landman back now, so shoot, it's worth a try. I mean, what we got to lose? I mean, really, what do we have to lose? It's definitely worth a try. Let's see. Let's take a look at the numbers real quick, y'all. Let's go into the numbers real quick, and I'm gonna get back to the comments. Yesterday we had 25 first downs. We had a total of 198 yards rushing and 3 rushing touchdowns, 225 passing yards, 423 total yards. We did good on third down yesterday, y'all. We converted 6 out of 12. And we did win a time of possession battle just slightly. We held the ball for 30 minutes and 40 seconds. Carolina held the ball for 29 minutes and 20 seconds. Now, let's talk about we're talking about the running backs. So let's talk about our running backs. We saw yesterday that Tyler Algier, he did end up with more carries than Bijan Robinson. And we also saw the force that Tyler Algier is. They had a damn hard time getting that man on the ground. So what do y'all think going forward? Do we look to run the ball more now? Or do we look to pass the ball a lot more like we did last week? So how do we constitute that going forward? You know, do you continue feeding Tyler Algier and let him doing his thing? Do you let him? Do you let him take a good bit of the carries that Bijan would get? So y'all let me know what y'all think about that. And I will say this, because what I hear a lot of times is people, they'll say that Tyler Algier needs to run the ball more. He needs the ball more. He needs the ball more. Which to a certain extent, I do agree. The reason I say a certain extent, and this is not a knock on Tyler running the ball, this is more of a props to Bijan, what he has shown he's able to do. I said this yesterday when we was talking about the game in our game thread. But the reason, up until yesterday, and even some of yesterday, the reason that Bijan gets as many reps as he do is because of, one, his versatility. Two, he's a damn great pass blocker when he has to pass. Damn great. When I say damn great, I'm talking about surprisingly great. I'm talking about these first 6 games, unbelievably great. I have watched Bijan all year so far recognize where the blitz is coming from, pick up the blitz, and not only does he pick up the blitz, but pardon my French, Bijan is knocking the shit out of these guys. Blitzing linebackers, whoever, he's knocking the shit out of them. So, as a running back, that's something that's going to keep you on the field. When you're a great pass blocking running back, a willing pass blocking running back, you got to want to block. Blocking is something you got to want to do. You got to want to block. That's going to keep you on the field as a running back. So that's a lot of the conundrum that Zach Robinson goes through when he's trying to divide up the reps between Tyler and Bijan. Because Bijan has shown, like, look, I'm going to block. I'm going to give the same effort blocking that I do when I run. Again, as a running back, that's going to keep you on the field. Because now the coach has confidence in you to block. Don't no offensive coordinator want their quarterback on the ground in no level of football. Even in middle school, don't no offensive coordinator want their quarterback on the ground. So when you have a great blocking running back like Bijan, who's also a damn good runner of the football, damn good catching the football out the backfield, it's hard to bring him off the field. It's hard to bring him off the field because can he run? Check. Can he catch out the backfield? Check. Can he block when it's time to block? Check. So it's tough to get him off the field. Now, am I saying that Tyler can't pass block like Bijan? I'm not saying he can't pass block, but I have not seen him do nowhere near as good a job as Bijan Robinson has this year. Just speaking about this year, I don't know about last year. I don't recall. But this year, no. Can Tyler Algier catch out the backfield? Yeah. Can he catch out the backfield better than Bijan? No. Can you put Tyler Algier in the slot? I mean, technically, yeah. You can put him at quarterback, technically. But would he be efficient out the slot? Would defense respect him if he line up in the slot? When you see Bijan line up in the slot, somebody's pointing at him. There goes 7. 7 in the slot. 7 is in the slot. So, with all that said, that's why Bijan stays on the field as often as he does. Because he does so many things very, 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 very good. Being a running back is not always about running the ball. I know that's your main job title, running back, running the ball. But if you can be versatile and do a lot of different things, you're going to stay on the field, especially when it comes to pass blocking. So that's why Zach Robinson keeps Bijan on the field so much. That's why Bijan is the leading. That's why Bijan leads the team in rushing attempts. Pound for pound, he's a better overall running back. Overall running back. Now, if you're a person that feels like Tyler Algier is better running the ball, I won't have that debate with you. But overall running back, catching out of the backfield, running the ball, pass blocking, Bijan. It is that simple, Bijan. And I speak on that because I see people yearn for Tyler to get more playing time, and I understand. But you got to understand also what Bijan brings to the offense when he's back there. When Bijan is on the field, if they come out and the call out the headset is a running play, Kirk gets to the line and he sees something. Oh man, they done stacked the box. I need the audible to a passing play. He can comfortably audible to a passing play to have Bijan blocking for him, or hey, I'm gonna send you out on a route. You don't have. It's not as easy to do that with Tyler Algier. It's pretty much what I'm saying. And that's not taking anything away from Tyler Algier. I was one of the guys that were in front of this webcam, in front of this microphone, pissed off when we drafted Bijan because I felt like, man, we got Tyler Algier. What we need Bijan for? What we need Bijan for? That was me. That was me. I was leading that charge. But with Bijan here, I see what he does bring to a team. You know, I see what he brings to a team. He's a very, very resourceful weapon to have in your arsenal. Slam in the building. What's going on, Slam? So if you're trying to consistently grab these elite players, you will be back in salary cap hell. I do agree. This is not man. You just have to find other ways to create pressure. But I think it's just going to take some time. Let's ring the bell for that because I do agree. You know, when I see, you know, people say, well, go trade for Hassan Reddick or Myles Garrett, it's like, man, y'all they gonna be high, man. They not finna come to Atlanta on no kind of discount. you gotta pay the piper, you know, and you know, we ain't in salary cap here right now, but you know, we got a lot of money on the books. You know, Chris Lindstrom make a lot of money. AJ Terrell make a lot of money. You know, Caleb McGarry make a decent amount of money. David Onyemata, good money. Grady Jarrett make good money. Jake Matthews make good money. Kirk Cousins, great money. Kyle Pitts, 50 option next year. You know, before you know it, you got to pay Drake London pretty soon. So you gotta keep point, Slim, and that's another aspect of why I say I wouldn't be a proponent of trading at this point. If we hadn't made the Judon trade, okay, yeah. Let's see if we could twerk something. But at this point, hey man, you gotta probably gotta just roll what we got. We gotta roll what we got. Zigzag says Bijan be squaring up the block up with the block. He do. Bijan be blocking like he want to fight. I'm like, Bijan, you supposed to be a nice guy. You supposed to be a quiet boy. You be out there rocking dudes like that. And the thing about it, man, it's every game I see this with Bijan Robinson. Every single game, Bijan is rocking somebody that's blitzing his quarterback, rocking these dudes. I'm talking about he ain't losing a battle. I'm watching these big 240, 250, 260 pound linebackers blitzing. He ain't knocking the shit out of them. And I'm saying to myself, that's why he always on the field. That's why he always on the field. Because they got confidence in him blocking. Among the other things that we mentioned. What's up, Raymond? Says, what up, Toddy? Whatever the situation calls for it, do it. Leave everything as is. Winning is the thing. I agree. Winning is the key at the end of the day. Trey Airline in the building. What's going on, Trey? This past weekend was the first time he played big. Who are you talking about? I might have missed it. Because I jumped through a little bit. Wallace says, Toddy, they're not going to change their scheme from a 3-4 to the 4-3 in the bye week. Tell us why you say that, Wallace. In your opinion, why do you say they won't change it? Zach Robinson in prime time. Kirko chains. Kirko. Working together. Kirko is like you're going to learn today. Let's ring the bell for that. I agree. Let's talk about Kirk Cousins. I guess this is Kirk Cousins part of the show. Kirk is really starting to come into his own. He's starting to look comfortable in the offense. He's starting to look comfortable at the bends. He's starting to buy into the culture, of the fan base. You see him out here swag surfing. You see him out here amongst the people. It seems like every week I see a random fan taking a picture with Kirk Cousins. He out there just like a regular cat, walking around Atlanta or walking around Metro Atlanta. So yeah, we are seeing we're seeing Kirk Cousins start to come into his own with the Falcons, and it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. All right, I'm gonna ask y'all something because we talking about Kirk Cousins right now. What's a narrative about Kirk Cousins that y'all are no longer hearing? Comment it in the chat if you don't mind. There is something about Kirk Cousins that you're no longer hearing. There is a narrative that has just mysteriously disappeared. Do y'all know the narrative that I'm talking about? If you know what I'm alluding to, comment it in the chat for me. There's a narrative about Kirk Cousins that has just disappeared in thin air. It has disappeared in thin air. I got something in mind, and I want to know if anybody can figure out what I'm talking about. Dr. Slickness. Boy, your name ought to be tripping me out every time I see it. And you got the Kirk Cousins profile pic, man. Let me give you that.
You like that? You like that?
You like that? I like that. I like what I see from Kirk Cousins. I like that. I like that. Miller Mill said he can't win the big game. That's one of them, but that's not the one I have in mind. But that is one of them, especially prime time. He don't want 2 prime time games this year. It should have been 3. That when I say it should have been 3, we all know I'm talking about the Kansas City game, right? If you somewhat of a fan of wrestling, you know about the Montreal screw job, right? I see C-Dub in the chat, so I know C-Dub know about the Montreal screw job. That was the Kansas City screw job, man. That Kansas City game. That was a screw job. It was a screw job. But we ain't gonna go into that. We don't go into that. C-Dub says we're going to Coles and we're getting some Waffle House. I told him about our top-notch Waffle House. He is Mr. Prime Time. Christian Lewis in the building. What's going on, Chris? How you doing tonight? Hashtag old man. That arm is 20 years old, though. What are you talking? You talking about Kirk Cousins? GM. He is not 100%. Let's ring the bell for that. That's the narrative that has, if y'all have noticed, nobody says that anymore. Nobody is now still saying Kirk Cousins is hurt. Well, he's still hurt. He's still injured. Nobody is saying that. Going back to Matt Ryan's interview early in the season, when he was talking about, Kirk just needs time to get familiar. When they asked Raheem Morris about it after the Pittsburgh game, he said, "No, he's fine. He ain't hurt. He's rusty. He got to shake off the rust." And I remember Kirk Cousins. I think it was that Waffle House interview that he had when he was like, "Look, man, I ain't played football in a minute, y'all." He didn't. I'm paraphrasing it. Like, man, I ain't played football in a minute. This ain't something you could just pick back up if you ain't been doing it in a while. But that's what I had in mind, y'all. Y'all notice that narrative has disappeared. Nobody is now saying that Kirk Cousins is still injured. I was of the belief that physically he was fine. That was my belief. It just, like he said, it just took some time to get the rust off, and also it was a matter of just, it was a mental thing. Trusting that leg again. And I think that trust is starting to come back. And we are starting to see the guy that we paid $100 million guaranteed to. Well, that's the quarterback we expected. That game, that Tampa Bay game, that's the quarterback we want to see. Set a franchise record.
You like that? You like that?
I like that, Kirk. I like that. Kirk Cousins, hold on. There was some data I looked at online the last 2 games for Kirk Cousins. Hold on, y'all. I want to share this with y'all. Kirk he's been on fire these last 2 games. I'm gonna pull this up and I'm gonna read it off. Give me just a moment. All right. Kirk Cousins last 2 games, 734 passing yards, 5 passing touchdowns, 106 rating, 69% completion percentage, 83.65 QBR, 83.65 last 2 games. That is exceptional for a QBR. 2-0 record. So Kirk is starting to come into his own. He's starting to come into his own. Prelude Faulkner, what's up? Says great in the regular season, but doesn't show up in the playoffs yet. Now that's a narrative he's gonna have to crush in the playoffs this year. He's gonna have to crush that in January. He's gonna have to crush that in January. And Kurt seemed like a super competitive guy, and I think he's looking forward to it. I think he's definitely looking forward to it. Prelaw says not my narrative, but other people's narrative. GM said he wasn't worth the money. That's a good one. I didn't think about that one, but you're absolutely right. You don't hear that anymore. I don't know the last time I heard anybody talk about his money. Especially once all these other quarterbacks, signed come into this year. It's the NFL in 2024. You're not going to get a good quarterback for peanuts. It's not going to happen, But you're right, GM. Nobody is talking about Kirk Cousins' money anymore. Nobody. I don't know the last time I seen that somebody make that comment. You're absolutely right. Raymond Constance, the money. Brian Cornelius said Brett's still upset about it. Yeah, he do. He is. I don't know. Sometimes I'll go into YouTube rabbit holes and I'll watch like little short documentaries on the Montreal screw job. But you're right, Bret Hart's still mad about that, man. He's still upset about that. And like I'll say this about that. When the stuff I don't watch, and C-Dub know this way better than I do, so he might can give me some information that I don't know. But when I hear everybody's story about what happened in the Montreal screw job, what happened and why it happened, I tend to agree with Vince McMahon. It's like, bro, you gotta lay down the title before you leave the company, man. It's like they're not gonna let you leave with their belt. They're not gonna let you go to their competitor with their belt. You know, for the most part, from what I've gathered, they had already kind of gave their blessing. And this is back when there was an intense rivalry between those two wrestling corporations. But they're not gonna let you leave with their belt. Like, bro, they gave you a chance to lay down the belt 2 matches before that. But like I said, I'm sure C-Dub or somebody else know better than I do. And maybe there's some information about that I don't know. Christy Lewis says, yeah, Kurt definitely not injured. Nah, Kurt ain't injured. Man, I'm seeing the time when Kurt get hit, or the few times he's been sacked the last maybe 3 games, Kurt bouncing right up. Kurt fine. That leg is fine. Kurt is not injured. Kurt is fine. He's absolutely fine. And I just remember the narratives after the especially like from the mainstream media. Oh, look at him, Stephen A. Smith. Oh, look at him. He can't move. He can't move. He can't do this. He can't do that. Man ain't played football in a long time, man. Like, give him some time to knock the rust off. But nobody said that no more. Nobody is saying that he's still hurt now. We got our brother Jeremy Dupree in the building. What's going on, Jeremy? How you doing, man? Appreciate you coming through. This is what I missed. Not much, man. We really just we started talking about wrestling recently, Montreal screw job. Talking about this past game, the Panthers Falcons game, of course. And earlier we was talking about when you look at the Falcons team right now, do you see a playoff team? Like, there are some teams you look at, Baltimore, San Francisco, that you look, okay, that's a playoff team. When you watching these Falcons, do you look at the Falcons and say, okay, that's a playoff team? Meezy Edison in the building says, what's good, Tyler? What's going on, Meezy? How you doing, bro? Appreciate you coming in. Kirk Toble, yeah. I forgot. Kirk Toble, hey, man, this is the month where Kirk really shines, they say. Kirk Toble. C-Dub said, yeah, can see Kirko swag surfing in his head. Kirko in his bag, man. Kirko is in his bag. GM said, now they saying that's why the Falcons drafted Penix. It was brilliant. From the jump, I didn't have no issues with it. I had no issues with it. I kind of see the vision that they were striving for, getting Kirk and then doubling down and getting Michael Penix at 8. You know, they wanted to win now, they wanted to win later. So I personally didn't have a issue with it then. I don't have an issue with it now. I like the fact that Michael Penix ain't thrown into the fire early, that he can sit down for 2 years and just watch and learn. And by the time that he does get the keys to the car, he should be as acclimated as possible for a younger quarterback. Wallace says, I think we got Kirk for still compared to what other quarterbacks get. Yeah, he's like the 10th or 11th highest paid quarterback in the NFL right now. That's a bargain with a 4-2 record. For me, don't get me wrong. The ultimate goal is a Super Bowl. That's the goal. The goal is a Super Bowl. But I foresee Kirk starting here for 2 years. Now, if we do win the Super Bowl, he gonna buy more time. But follow me. If we can win at least 2 playoff games in 2 years with Kirk Cousins, that was a big win for the Falcons. A huge win for the Falcons. Huge win for the Falcons. And I know some may be thinking that I'm setting the bar low, but I'm trying to be logical and realistic. Again, the Super Bowl is always the goal. I'm not saying I don't want to win the Super Bowl, but I'm trying to be logical and realistic. a team that hadn't even been in the playoffs since 2017. If you can sign Kirk Cousins, you go into the playoffs the first year he's here, you win you a playoff game. That's a win to me. That is a win. Now you got something to build on going into 2025. So I hope and pray that we do win the Super Bowl with him. But if you get two playoff wins in 2 years with Kirk Cousins, to me, that's a win. Travis, what's up, brother? How you doing? Says Vince saw Medusa with the woman's title, so he didn't want to risk it. Yeah, that was a big risk overall for Vince McMahon and WWF. See, there are a lot of different versions of the stories. I always believe if they put in Owens in the match as a triple threat, Brett would do the honors. Also known as lose. He had a deep hatred for HBK. Yeah, and that played a big part in it too. The person that he ultimately lost to, he lost his belt to, so that did play a big part. C-Dub says Brett had the creative control over his last 30 days. Vince put that in his contract too. Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that part. I did not know that part. From what I did gather, that he went backstage and he punched Vince McMahon. I did see that. C-Dub says Vince McMahon documentary on Netflix is something for sure, and Kirk can have a Matt Stafford run with the Rams. Let's ring the bell for that. I definitely hope so. T-Terry in the house. What's going on, T-Terry? Says Penix won't see the field in 3 years. Ooh, now if he won't see the field in 3 years, that means Kirk Cousins is balling and we winning some important games. So I'm here for that. I'm here for that. T-Terry says trade him. I don't think they're gonna trade him. Cause getting him was already a power move. So I don't think they're gonna trade him, especially at Kirk Cousins' age. I mean, I hope Kirk Cousins continues to play very good to great football these next few years, but we got to be realistic. Father Time is undefeated. When you're in your mid to late 30s, one day you playing good football, the next day you playing bad football. Ask Julio Jones. Ask Matt Ryan. And I'm not picking on them, but the first names came to mind because I saw them play so many years. Trey Airlines is title. Why can't Mooney stay on his feet? Young Mooney, baby. If he doesn't fall on every catch, he might have multiple TD games. I know he got that little Harry Douglas in him, man. I don't know what it is. I think sometimes players like Mooney, I think it's a matter of him probably trying to do too much at one time. He probably thinking in his head, okay, I'm going to catch this ball. I'm going to do this. I'm going to go this way. Instead of catching the ball, planting your feet, then going to your next action, I guess I'll say. That's just my guess. I don't know why, but you're absolutely right. C-Dub said that kitty cat field sucks. That's why. Yeah, that's true. C-Dub said David Tupper messy. Man, David Tupper is messy all the way around. He messy all the way around, man. He's driving the Carolina Panthers into the ground. Not that I got any sympathy for them. They are still a division rival, but he's a terrible owner. From some of the people that I've talked to who actually cover the Panthers, they tell me that their general manager, all of those guys in the front office, they want to CJ Stroud. That's who they want, Stroud, and they all got vetoed by Tepper. He wanted Bryce Young. Get me Bryce by any means necessary. So Bryce Young in Carolina was a Tepper move. And who knows? Bryce Young, he may not even start for the Panthers again. Who knows? He might speaking of trades, he might get traded at the end of the season. Trey Allen said also why I noticed Ray has the same number as Ray Buchanan. Yeah, I have noticed that also. Shout out to Ray Boo also. One of our better Falcons cornerbacks. We hadn't had a whole lot in our history, but he gave us a few. He gave us a few pretty good years. Ray Buchanan. Shout out to Ray Boo. John from iTest in the building. What's going on, John? How you doing tonight? Y'all make sure to check out John and also Winston at the iTest. If you're not already subscribed, make sure to show them some love. Subscribe to their channel. They come on at Wednesday 10 p.m. He said that wasn't on Mooney. That was on Kirk Cousins. And that throw he made, Mooney did the best thing that he could do with the pass to try to catch it. So John is saying that was more on the quarterback and less on the receiver. C-Dub says, what we feel about that fumble? Oh, good question. I really went mad at it because he was trying. I don't think he was being careless with the football. I think he was trying to get that extra yard, and it just didn't work out for him. So I really went too bad about it, and ultimately it ended up being a non-factor. I think that was our only turnover of the game. You know, if we don't have that, we have a game turnover free. I think that was the only turnover that we did have. Trey Airline said the ground call. So that's what I thought too. But I'll be honest, they did show an angle. I think the ball hit somebody's leg or their knee. And that's what started to not. It hit somebody's leg or knee, and Mooney started to or was that who's that? I think that was Ray McLeod. He started to lose possession of the ball. And by the time he got to the ground, you know, it totally came out. Once I saw like the second replay of it, I saw why they did call it a fumble. And I actually agreed with it. C-Dub says how we feel about Pitts and Sanchez saying he ran a lazy route. That's what it appeared. I'll be honest, I had a chance to go back and watch the game again, which I probably will do maybe sometime tomorrow. That's what it looked like off the first look of it. If you're talking about that route, that it looked like he was running the street down the field and he just stopped. So I'm gonna have to go back and look at that again and see if I can draw any other conclusions from it. In somewhat of Pitts' defense, maybe there was some confusion on what route he was supposed to run. I don't know, but based on what I saw the first time, it just looked like he did not give enough effort and he gave up on the route, not expecting the ball to be thrown his way. Okay, so it was Ray. Okay, cool. All right, y'all. Well, hey, it's been real, man. I ain't want to stay on here too long. I'm about an hour and 30 minutes into it, and that seems like a pretty good time to call it quits. So I'm gonna check out. Y'all also look for me tomorrow at 5 p.m. I think the time is. I will be on C-Dub's show here on YouTube. Make sure that you are subscribed to C-Dub. Also here on YouTube, if you're not subscribed, go ahead and just click on his profile, hit the subscribe button. I will be on there chopping it up with him and his crew tomorrow at 5 p.m. So, you know, I'll see y'all then. Until then, I want to thank y'all. I appreciate y'all time. I know it's late, so I appreciate the time, the engagement, and always much love. Peace out.